What's up, y'all? Been a long time since I sat down and made one of these videos. A lot has happened, a lot has changed, and a lot has stayed the same, but most importantly, everything's all right. You know what I mean? Life is good. I've been making a lot more like short form content recently, Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts, that type of thing. And it's been fun, but it doesn't really satisfy me in the same way that doing these longer form, just sit down off the top of the head, no script, one shot videos. That's what I really like doing because it challenges me, and I think it's the most authentic content that I create, really. So, a few things that I want to speak on in this video. Where to begin? First and foremost, I want to just put out there that I have passed the 3-year mark in my sobriety, okay? January 1st, 2026, that marked 3 years of sobriety. So, you know, that's another big milestone. I'm proud of that. This is not going to be a dedicated video speaking entirely about sobriety. I've done other videos like that in the past. And normally what I'll do is, in my first year, I made a dedicated video. At year 2, I made a dedicated video. And I planned on making a dedicated video for year 3 and so on and so forth. But really, I don't have a whole lot to say about it. If you're somebody who's struggling with substance abuse, primarily drinking and doing drugs, smoking weed, just know that it is possible to quit. And it does get easier as time goes on, all right? So if you're one of those people who has tried to quit in the past and then, you know, you fail over and over and over again and you feel like you're never going to get it to stick, just know that, you know, if you stay with it, it is possible. It does get easier, and life is so much better without using drugs and alcohol. All right, that's all I got to say about that. There are occasions where I'm tempted to drink, or, you know, tempted to smoke weed, or tempted to take pills or something like that, but they're fleeting and they really don't challenge me in the way that they did when I was earlier in my sobriety. So that's that, all right? Next up, and it's crazy to think that I never even really made a dedicated video about being a welding instructor, okay? But I was a welding instructor at a trade school, and it was an amazing experience, and it came with its own set of challenges, and I learned a lot, and I grew a lot in that position, and I'm extremely grateful for the opportunity to have had that position, but I quit that job, and now I'm working as a welding inspector. And if you're somebody who's been watching my channel for a while, you probably saw my video where I talked about becoming a certified welding inspector. And at the end of that video, I mentioned that I didn't really know where to go from here. And, you know, I asked people to leave comments as far as what they've done or what they think I should do. And, you know, I didn't really get any great ideas out of the comment section. But I'll say this, guys. Life has a really interesting way of working out. That's been my experience, you know. Now that I'm a little bit older, I'm 36, I can look back on my life and see the way things unfolded with hindsight, you know, with the, what's the word I'm looking for? With the advantage of hindsight, right? Whereas in the moment when things were happening in my life, I didn't necessarily know what was going to come next. I didn't know if it was going to end up being a good thing or a bad thing. But everything that's happened in my life has led me to where I'm at now, and I'm in a pretty good place now. But I'll probably go back and make a dedicated video on my time as a welding instructor and the things that I did right and the things that I did wrong, and just some, you know, funny stories from that time. But essentially, it was a brand new program in a small town here in Florida, and I worked with some great dudes, and I was the only welding instructor, and I just kind of jumped in the deep end with no experience and no one guiding me, and I just was left to figure it out and build the program from the ground up. And, you know, it was a huge success, and I'm proud of it. But was presented with the opportunity to get into weld inspection full time and to start my own company. And really, what the main driver that pushed me to quit my job and pursue inspection was monetary reasons. Teaching is great. I worked for a school district. I had a lot of time off. I was paid a decent salary, and my quality of life was very good. But there's a ceiling in terms of the money that you're able to make. And I just feel like I've worked so hard my entire life, and I've put so much into the trade of welding. And, I feel like I deserve an opportunity to make really good money. And that's what I'm doing now. I won't go into specific details as far as how I broke into the inspection industry and, what the details of my payment structure and all that stuff, but I opened an LLC. And I'll say this, guys, I couldn't have done it if it wasn't for other people who are more established helping me and opening doors for me. And that's a really important lesson, not only professionally, but just in life. And it's something that I try to preach to my students all the time, is the importance of networking and the importance of building relationships and maintaining those relationships. Because, like I say, with the advantage of hindsight, I can look back on the trajectory of my career, and more often than not, when I took big steps up in my career, it's due in large part to other people who I had met along the way and who helped me. So it's like, I've found that when you're helping yourself, people are more inclined to want to help you. So let that be a lesson to you guys. And this is more just like a quick update, right? Somebody commented on one of my videos and said that, they were trying to watch it, but they couldn't because I was just rambling too much. Hey, the guy wasn't wrong. You know what I mean? I have the tendency to do that. But this is an unorganized, rambling type of video. So if you like it, great. If not, just tune out. That's fine too. But the only other thing I want to say in this video is, let's see, how do I put this? I don't want to come off as like arrogant or oblivious or anything like that. But the truth of the matter is, it's sad to me when I see young people specifically, older people too, but definitely it bothers me more when I see young people getting like super passionate and upset about all of these big, let's call them geopolitical issues going on in the world today, right? Like not that long ago, it was Russia and Ukraine, and now it's Israel and Iran. And, these are very real issues, but it's like, I'm 36, I live in America. There is very little that I can do to have any effect on these things. And the reality is, we live in a world where the dissemination of information is highly controlled, and there's so many different ways for people to manipulate the facts and to, you really don't know what's real and what's not real. You don't know what the truth is. And I've just, for myself, me speaking personally, I just try not to worry about that shit. I got too many of my own personal problems to worry about to get all worked up about what's going on in another country. And I get it. Some people are going to hear that and be like, well, you're just an asshole or you're fucking stupid. All right, that's fine. I'm not going to sit here and argue with you and say that I'm not. But what I will say is, it's like, I know guys who are in their 50s and 60s, and all they do all day is just post on Facebook about fucking Muslims and Democrats. And it's like, dude, fucking get over it. You know what I mean? Like, focus on your own life. Like, go get a hobby, read a book, go outside, touch grass. Like, just chill. Like, and when I see young people, because I was around a lot of younger people when I was teaching, get all up in arms about these big conflicts happening overseas, it's like, on one hand, okay, I can appreciate the fact that they care and they're trying to be informed, and there's nothing wrong with that. But my my approach is I try to only really focus and care deeply about the things that I have direct control over. And I will say that I wasn't always like that, right? I had to learn and grow and kind of get to that point, because I remember back in 2020 and 2021 and 2022 with COVID and the vaccines and all these things, I was way more into listening to like political discourse on YouTube. Like at that time, I was listening to Ben Shapiro every day, and I remember I would listen to his show when I was at work, and then I'd get off work and I would call my mom, who's like a raging Democrat, or I'd call my dad, and I'd be all worked up like, oh, they fucking, and it was like I was just finding that I was getting so worked up over these things. And not to say that I was wrong for feeling that way, but it's like, what good was it really doing me? It wasn't doing me any good. So, and this is not even like talking about all the Epstein stuff, and it's just all so fucked up, and it's fucked up. Like, I don't even know what else to say. It's bad, it's disgusting, and it's terrible, but it's like I got my own life to worry about, and that's kind of where I'm at with this stuff. So anyways, guys, for me, life is good. Things are going well. I took some big risks, and for the time being, they're paying off. And when I say I took big risks, that means that I invested in myself, right? I bet on myself. I walked away from things that were stable to pursue things that there was no guarantee attached to these things that I was pursuing, but the upside potential was much greater than what I was doing. And I've kind of found about myself that I'm just always in search of something greater, and it served me well so far. So I'm gonna keep behaving that way. Doesn't mean there's anything wrong with contentment. Feeling content with your life is great, and I do feel content with my life, but I also feel like I want to keep pushing myself and pursuing bigger and better things. So that's it. That's all I got to say. I've been enjoying making videos, and I want to get back to it. So keep your eye out for more videos in the future. Thank you guys for taking your time and listening to what I have to say. I appreciate it. Love you. Peace.